I was thinking about when my very first day of school and how scared I was. I didn't know most of these kids, and I remember the teacher. We used to call her Mrs. D. Uh, she was so kind and soft-spoken and gentle, and she introduced the other kids, and made us feel that's okay. Your parents are gone home. They're fine. You don't have to worry. You can just learn and have fun here. Maybe you can remember those voices from your childhood that stuck with you. Maybe it was mom and dad tucking you in with a quiet story, or grandmother sharing tales over the kitchen table. Or, like I said, that one teacher who believed in you when no one else seemed to. Those words didn't just float by. They sank deep into our hearts like seeds in good soil. Some grew into beautiful things that still bless us to this day. Often others became weeds we've had to pull out along the way. But here's the honest part. As a society, we've dropped something precious. We've mostly failed to pass along the one voice that brings true life and freedom, God's truth. Instead of filling our kids' hearts with His loving guidance, we've often pushed it aside. And in doing so, we've generation down more than we ever realize. We've turned holidays like Christmas, that has nothing to do with God at all, but that's for another video. We've turned holidays like Christmas into one-way street of gifts and magic, telling kids a jolly figure, loosely linked to God, rewards good behavior with presents, but rarely teaching them to give back to God through gratitude, obedience, or love. We spend the whole year telling children, better be good or Santa is not going to bring you nothing. And we even let our kids, if it's allowed anymore, to be in plays, Jesus in the manger and all this stuff. The rest of the year, we don't even ask that they be grateful for the food they eat, or the shelter over their heads, or the toys they have, the ability to be in sports. We don't even expect for them to be grateful. And in most cases, they're disrespectful, and we allow it. It's all about receiving. There's no real relationship or sacrifice in return. That's not God's design. It's a shallow substitute that leaves hearts empty. And worse, we've handed over much of their formation, their upbringing, to systems that prioritize trendy topics, transgender issues, homosexuality, social justice, while basics like strong reading, math, and critical thinking often and mostly fall short. Kids emerge confused about identity, morality, and truth, with little foundation in God's unchanging standards. We hand them screens loaded with mixed messages, send them off to schools that rarely mention God at all, and hope that once in a while, if they do go to church, that it fills the void. With a bit of irony, expecting society to raise balanced moral kids while we mostly step back. That's not protection, it's surrender. God's plan was different and far better. He gave us the 10 Commandments not as a prison of rules, but as a loving guide to becoming better people. Deuteronomy 6, verses 6 and 7. These commandments I give to you today. They are to be in your hearts. Impress them upon to your children. Talk about them when you sit at home, and when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. This is how faith flows generation to generation. It's like a river. The 10 Commandments aren't heavy chains God imposed to restrict us. There is blueprint for freedom, love, and flourishing. As 1 John 5:3 says, for this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not burdensome. They're not burdensome because they align with how He created us and the world. It protects us from harm, guiding us to joy. Think about what they really teach. Let's pick a few. No other gods, no idols. We honor the one true Creator first, finding real purpose. We don't misuse God's name. We speak with respect and integrity. We keep the Sabbath holy. We rest, we recharge, and we focus on family and God, not endless hustle and bustle. I may not have these in order, by the way, but we honor our parents. We build strong families with gratitude and respect. We don't murder. We don't steal. We don't bear false witness. No coveting. We don't harm and take, lie, or envy others. When followed, these produce exactly what every parent deep down really wants for their children: to be productive, hardworking, honest stewards. Honest meaning no lying or stealing. Kind and giving, no coveting or harming. Compassionate, treating others as we'd want to be treated. Better people overall, just better people, free from slavery of sin. And it's not acceptable to be talking like this, but Paul sums it up in Romans. The commands against murder, stealing, coveting, all summed up in one command: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to your neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law. James calls it the perfect law that gives freedom, not a burden, but liberation from sin. God didn't turn his law into a prison. We've done that all by ourselves. All by ourselves, we've done that. We've brought in traditions that never, ever, ever point to God. We did it by misunderstanding or ignoring it, or by adding man-made rules that weigh people down. History warns us, Israel saw miracles but forgot God when no one faithfully taught the next generation. Judges 2:10. Eli knew his sons were sinning but didn't correct him, and it cost dearly. When society neglects this duty, we rob kids of the path to true life now and in God's kingdom. But here's the hope: God redeems what's lost. Joel 2:25. He promises restoration when we turn back. Like Timothy, shaped by his grandmother and mother's faithful teaching, ordinary people can make a difference through everyday obedience and conversations. Let's reclaim this as a society. Parents, weave God's word, including the 10 Commandments, into daily life. Do it through meal times, bedtimes, car rides. Show how they lead to freedom, not restriction. How honoring them builds character, kindness, hard work, and compassion. Grandparents, share your stories of God's faithfulness. If you're a teacher or a mentor, connect truth to real life. Proving obedience brings abundance. Grace covers our failures. Obedience shapes our brighter future. We're not just raising kids, we're equipping them to be better, freer people who love God and others deeply. We do not do this perfectly because we're not perfect. We try to do as good as we can. We have to break this cycle of I'm not no better. You're not no better. But that don't mean you can't teach your children better. Last I checked, we're human. And the very things that we tell our children not to do, we ourselves do from time to time, or used to. We tell our children not to steal. Maybe we were the biggest thief there was a certain time of our lives. Maybe if there was something that we wanted, we would take it. That don't mean you can't teach your children not to steal. Just because you murdered somebody don't mean you got to teach your kids to murder. In fact, use that experience to tell them how horrible your life has been because you did such a thing. That's one extreme example, but you can use any example. Teach our children what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Teach them what they need to know, not what the schools want them to know. It is so hard today. Yes, it was hard back then. Every generation had it hard, but it was a different time. You were busy as a family trying to survive, grow your vegetables. You farmed or you fished or whatever it was. the whole family was involved. Yes, it was tough, but today is different. We have been herded into having two people work, and you have to. If you want to put any food at all on the table, you need almost two people working, unless you're blessed without a mortgage or something like that, which is rare. You need two people working. It's the powers to be have made it so. So it's harder. You got to come up with ways to still be very involved. We know that our children is in school more than they are at home. And the way that schools are now, it's all about social justice, social norms, and actual teaching is gone. They don't even teach how to balance a checkbook. They don't teach life. They teach volleyball, sports, if you want to, and the rest is taken up in weirdness, social ideologies, and they call it progress. Look around. Children are the most unhappy creatures. Sure, they get home, they got a phone, a tablet, they got gaming systems. That's not happiness. That's substitution. So folks, hopefully you got something from this. Just something I was thinking about. Hopefully see you on the next one.